In a world where attention is fleeting and beauty is often reduced to trends that fade as quickly as they appear, there are individuals whose presence feels different. They don't demand attention, they attract it. They don't chase relevance, they create resonance. Mayridts is one of those rare figures. Her story is not defined by instant fame or manufactured perfection, but by patience, self-awareness, and the quiet strength of becoming exactly who she was meant to be. Long before her name began circulating across digital spaces, before her images reached wide audiences and her presence carried influence, Mayridts was simply a young woman navigating a world that often tells people who they should be before allowing them to discover who they are. Her journey did not begin with certainty. It began with curiosity, with observation, with a growing understanding that identity is something shaped from within, not assigned from the outside. Growing up, she witnessed how society framed beauty within narrow limits. Certain looks were celebrated, certain bodies were praised, and anything that didn't fit the mold was often overlooked or quietly dismissed. These messages were everywhere in media, in fashion, in casual conversations. Yet even in those early years, Mayridts carried an inner awareness that those definitions were incomplete. She sensed that beauty was far more complex, far more personal, and far more powerful than what was being presented. She did not rebel loudly against expectations, nor did she fully accept them. Instead, she observed. She learned. She listened to her inner voice. This quiet awareness would become one of her greatest strengths. While others rushed to fit in, she took time to understand herself. And in a world that often rewards speed, she chose depth. Fashion entered her life not as a tool for approval, but as a form of expression. Clothing became a way to communicate confidence, mood, and individuality without explanation. Each choice she made reflected something deeper than appearance. It reflected intention. Even when she wasn't fully aware of it, she was learning how to align her outer presence with her inner identity. Like every meaningful journey, hers was not without moments of doubt. There were times when comparison crept in, when the pressure to conform felt heavy, when the path ahead seemed uncertain. There were moments when she questioned whether being herself would ever be enough in a world that constantly asks for more. But each time doubt appeared, it was met with reflection rather than retreat. She learned that confidence is not the absence of uncertainty, but the willingness to move forward despite it. When social media began shaping the modern narrative of influence, Mayridts approached it with caution and clarity. She understood that these platforms could either amplify authenticity or distort it. She chose authenticity. Her early presence online was subtle, intentional, and unforced. She didn't perform. She didn't exaggerate. She simply showed up as herself. And that was enough. There was something quietly captivating about her content. It didn't shout for attention, yet it held it. Her images carried calm confidence, the kind that feels grounded rather than performative. People didn't just scroll past her, they paused. They felt something familiar, something reassuring, something real. In the digital world, where so much feels curated and distant, that sense of realness became magnetic. As her audience grew, it became clear that people were drawn to more than her appearance. They were drawn to her energy. Mayridts carried herself with assurance without arrogance, elegance without excess, and strength without hardness. She represented a kind of femininity that felt balanced, soft yet powerful, confident yet humble. Her growth was organic. She didn't chase trends or reinvent herself to stay relevant. Instead, she refined who she already was. Each stage of her journey reflected experience rather than pressure. This natural evolution made her presence timeless rather than temporary. While others burned brightly and faded quickly, Mayridts built something steady. For many who followed her journey, she became representation. Not because they shared her exact features, but because they recognized her path. They saw themselves in her patience, her self-trust, her refusal to rush or shrink. She represented the idea that it's okay to grow at your own pace. That success does not need to be loud to be meaningful. As opportunities began to present themselves, Mayridts approached them with discernment. She understood that not every opportunity deserved a yes, and not every collaboration aligned with her values. She chose quality over quantity, alignment over exposure. This intentionality shaped her professional journey, allowing her to build a career rooted in integrity rather than impulse. Her work began to reflect maturity and depth. Each appearance felt purposeful. Each project carried intention. She wasn't playing a role or chasing an image. She was presenting a presence. That distinction set her apart in an industry often driven by surface-level appeal. With visibility came scrutiny. Public attention rarely arrives without opinions, and Mayridts was no exception. As her influence expanded, so did commentary. But she never allowed external voices to define her worth. She understood that criticism often arises when authenticity challenges comfort. Instead of reacting defensively, she responded with consistency. Her resilience was quiet but unwavering. She didn't argue her value, she embodied it. Behind the composed exterior was a woman deeply aware of responsibility. Mayridts understood that influence extends beyond visuals. People absorb tone, intention, and example. She chose to lead not through declarations, but through behavior, through patience, through self-respect, through staying true to herself even when the spotlight grew brighter. Messages from followers reflected the depth of her impact. People shared how her presence encouraged them to slow down, to stop comparing themselves to others, to trust their own timelines. Some spoke of finding confidence not by changing themselves, but by accepting who they already were. That kind of influence cannot be manufactured. It can only be lived. As time passed, Mayridts became a symbol of modern femininity, one that honors ambition without sacrificing grace, confidence without losing humility, and beauty without reducing identity to appearance alone. She embraced aesthetics while understanding they were only one part of a much larger story. Her journey demonstrated that success doesn't always arrive with noise. Sometimes it arrives quietly, built on alignment rather than urgency, built on self-awareness rather than performance, built on consistency rather than comparison. Today, Mayridts stands as a figure of calm strength in a fast-moving digital world. She represents what happens when growth is intentional and confidence is nurtured rather than forced. Her presence reminds people that you don't need to rush to be relevant, and you don't need to be loud to be powerful. Her story is still unfolding, not because she is chasing the next milestone, but because growth never truly ends. She remains grounded, aware, and intentional, understanding that influence is not measured solely by numbers, but by the quality of impact left behind. Mayridts is not just a model or a digital personality. She is a reminder that authenticity creates longevity, that patience builds strength, that becoming yourself is not a weakness, but a victory. In a world that constantly urges people to become more, Mayridts gently reminds us that becoming who you are is enough. And that is why her story matters. If this biography resonated with you, and you appreciate stories that celebrate confidence, growth, and inner strength, subscribe to Sweet Model's World, like this video, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that true beauty begins within.